Hey there, Joe Gaspard here from Joe Gaspard Performance Coaching, and today we're going to talk about how do you deal with the pressure. Whatever pressure it is you're feeling, how can you deal with it? I'm getting this question a lot right now, especially from salespeople who are under the gun to make those end of the year quotas. They're running out of time in the year and they need to make their numbers, and they're feeling the pressure from their boss, from the company, from themselves, whatever it is. So how do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with any pressure, whether it's from your boss or in your life, from your spouse, from yourself? How do you deal with it? Well, step number one is you got to have a plan. See, when you don't have a plan and you're just out there kind of winging it, your brain goes under a lot of stress. It's trying to sort out all of these details. It's trying to make sense of time and space and activities and all of this other stuff, right? So that's step one, is you need a plan to organize your brain, to free up some of that computing power in the brain so that it can figure out what it needs to do next, so you can see it right there on paper. And step number two is, and here's probably, I won't call it the most crucial, but the one that most people miss. And that is, if you watched any of my videos, you're going to hear me say it over and over again, you got to practice. You got to practice dealing with the stress. You got to practice your sales script. You got to practice eating well. You got to practice going to the gym. You got to practice closing your customers, making those cold calls, doing all those things so that when the time comes, you're not crushed under the gun. You're not crushed under the pressure of having to do it right there on the spot, of having to figure out how you're going to make that cold call, of figuring out what you're going to say to that customer on the phone, of figuring out where your next lead or sale or revenue stream is going to come from. Whatever it is, you want to practice it before that. So instead of sitting down every night and watching TV so that you can just be distracted, look, I do it too. I'm not saying that I don't. But instead of sitting down and watching hours of TV so that you don't have to deal with the thing going on in your brain to pull you away, because it's easy, right? You watch TV, the world sort of melts away. You don't have to think about it right now. I'll deal with it tomorrow. You get on the phone, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're playing a game, you're doing whatever you're doing. I'll deal with it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you don't deal with it. And then tomorrow comes and you don't deal with it. And the next day and the next day, and it piles up all of this pressure on you. So what are you doing that night before? Are you preparing for the next day? Yeah, you got a plan, but are you fulfilling it every day? Yeah, you got a plan, but are you going home at night and figuring out what exactly needs to be done tomorrow? Are you practicing that sales script? Are you practicing making those cold calls? Are you practicing asking for the raise? Are you practicing handling the objections of your spouse because things aren't working out financially? Are you practicing studying, eating well and exercising and going through those things? Or are you just sitting there on the couch looking at your phone or looking at the TV or spending time on the internet so that you just don't have to deal with it, so that you can stop thinking about it, you can get your brain away and just be distracted for a little while? So look, if you're feeling that pressure, okay, use these two steps. If you're feeling that pressure, you're feeling like you're being crushed by it, send me a message. I'll do anything I can to help you. Reach out to me. I'll help you in any way that I can. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.